Exactly.
for 300 years, unless they have some gains at some point to offset it.
But
if he makes $1 million next April, thank you, I'll take 40% of that check.
exactly.
It doesn't seem to encourage people to, certainly the government only wants to be partners if you win, and certainly not if you're losing.
Yeah.
And under certain situations, the idea of provisions about if you have a capital loss, can you accelerate the
Well,
ability to...
especially with the recent, I mean, there have been talk, but in the recent, last 5 years, I mean,
Right.
I had a client in the office yesterday picking up their tax return, and, I mean, he has approximately $2.7 million in capital losses.
Mhm.
That's great. I mean, if he's ever gonna sell some of his properties down the road...
How long is that gonna take him to write that off?
Well, at $3,000 a year, if he doesn't do anything, he's not gonna write that off. Now, I mean, down the road, he does have some investment properties that, he might be able to sell, but hey, that's one heck of a way to do tax planning, is that he's already paid, he's lost,
Right.
he lost $2.7 million.
It's the government says heads I win, tails you lose. If that 2.7 million had evolved into 6 or 7 million, they'd be getting their participation on the upside. It hasn't worked.
The
He may never-
government gets the best of both worlds.
Right.
When it's good for them, you're paying tax.
Right.
When you have lost money, well, there's probably a reason that you can't deduct it. You don't have bases, there's limitations.
Right.
So the tax law isn't fair. I mean, one of the items just, kind of going through Bloomberg this week is, just something about donating inventory.
Okay,
Again,
tell us about that a little bit.
if you're a large C corporation, you're one of the Fortune 500,
Right.
you actually, if you donate inventory to a nonprofit or,
Sure.
you get to maybe write it up.
Okay.
Normally, you would think what you bought for something is what you get to take for a tax deduction. Well, if you're a C corporation, which most of the Fortune 500s are, you get to maybe write, your cost plus. So it's a
Okay.
windfall.
Yeah.
So they're getting imaginary deductions on their tax returns. And everyone wonders why they don't pay tax.
They get